Hi friends, welcome back to my channel. My name is Bethany, and on this channel we talk about the false beliefs taught to women inside of the church, and we also shine a light on problematic Christian influencers. So if any of that resonates with you, go ahead and share this video, like it, and always be sure to subscribe. All right, we're gonna get snarky in today's video, so let's get into it. In the previous Karissa Collins video that I did, we looked over the foods that she was making for her family. And as you remember, I actually backed her up. And I said, you know what? I am the youngest of 8, so I'm not here to shame any mom for trying to get creative in the kitchen, feeding a lot of her kids. These kids are fed, they look happy, so who am I to talk about the slop that she's making for her children? Though it looks absolutely disgusting for me, in my opinion, I kind of defended her. Not in the comments because I don't care that much. I kind of defended her on my video, but not anymore. I have known that Karissa Collins is a very strict, fundamentalist, legalist Christian. I got it. But I didn't know that she was delusional from being a flat earther to now believing that there are certain meats, certain foods that are biblical that you are not allowed to eat. She's delusional. In my opinion, Karissa Collins is quite delusional. So I looked at her stories the other day, and she posted about, we're gonna go through them, and she was posting about the unclean versus clean meats that you are to eat because they are both physically and spiritually unhealthy. I gave myself full permission to obliterate the foods that she's feeding her family because of the audacity she has to tell other people the foods that they're eating are unhealthy. So let's go. She shared this to her stories. Why the creator said not to eat catfish, pork, lobster, or shrimp, and other unclean animals. The caption reads, many people have a hard time understanding why they can't eat anything they want. The creator Yahuwah, I think I'm pronouncing that correct, gave us dietary laws for a reason. Not only are these dietary laws designed to protect our health, but they are designed to protect us spiritually and to keep us protected from the coming wrath that will be poured out on all sinners who reject Yahuwah, his son Yahshua, and the commandments. So she is in belief that if you eat these specific meats, these specific foods, then you are, number one, unhealthy physically, unhealthy spiritually, and opening up yourself to God's wrath. Delusional. But this is fun. Would you eat from a garbage truck? That's what you are doing when you eat unclean foods. And I love that unclean foods is capitalized. You're eating the garbage truck that is picking up the trash from the earth. The reason you can't eat every animal, do not make yourselves unclean by eating any of these. I'm Yahuwah, you're whatever, and you must keep yourselves holy because I'm holy. This is in the Old Testament. This is Leviticus 11:43. This is Old Testament belief. She is not a New Testament, in my opinion, she is not a New Testament believer to where Jesus died for all the sins, and that is, you are not living by the law, you are now living under grace, is what we are taught. And so this would no longer be a belief. Eating unclean animals pollute you physically and spiritually. This is bananas. This is crazy. Your Christian preachers never warned you Some of you get yourselves ready and go to a garden to worship a foreign goddess. You eat the meat of pigs, mice, and other abominations, but I will destroy you for this. That is Isaiah 66. You'll be destroyed for eating pork. It's an abomination. Your pork chop catfish eating pastors have led you astray. Judgment is approaching. Find the truth before it is too late. This is wonderful. Here's a good list of, which she also shared on her stories. Here's a good list of clean versus unclean meats. Clean flying animals. Let me see if I can read this. And there are scriptures to back everything up. Clean flying animals. Chicken, dove, duck, goose. Okay, we don't have to read all of that. But the unclean animals, woodpeckers, road there, you don't really hunt woodpeckers. Okay. Clean insects. Insects with jointed jumping legs. Unclean without jumping legs. So you can't eat a locust, clearly. Unclean animals. Okay. So canines, fox, hyena, wolf, coyote, felines, you can't eat. Donkeys, horses, mules you can't eat. Let's see, bear you can't eat, which is crazy because people eat bear all the time. Raccoon, rhinoceros, slug, snail, gross. Wallaby, swan. Okay, that's the biggest one. They do not believe that eating pork is good. That's insane. But people hunt bear and eat bear all the time. What happens if you don't have a choice and you have to eat these things? That's why they're here. Unclean water animals, catfish, which is nuts. I hate seafood anyway, so this one's okay. But you have I will 100% fish for anything. I'll either catch and release or we keep it, other people eat it, which is totally fine. But I was so shocked. Again, I was going to keep my mouth shut on the nasty slop of a dinner that she was feeding her family because that's fine. Don't want to shame her for that, but now we're going to. Now it is time to fully snark and shame the slop that she is feeding her children because I was thinking it, but I wasn't going to say it because, I don't want to shame a mom for the shit that she's feeding her kids if it's not all pastries and sugar and whatever. They look like hearty meals, but fuck it, because you can't tell people what to eat and what not to eat when you're feeding your family this shit.
Get cooking with me. It's cheesy chicken and rice, my family's fave. You need 4 cans of cream of celery, some cheddar cheese, and rice. So you put the 4 cans of cheese in a pan, mix it with your cheese. Then I have 2 packages.
If she is not buying this cheese from Amish stores or where she would get her hamburger meat, the processed place like that, I would bet that this is actually not cheese.
Chicken tenders, put them on top, put foil over it, stick it in the oven.
She adds more cheese to it.
And put the oven at 425 and you cook it for an hour. I cook my rice in this awesome pressure cooker and that's it. You're all done.
What is that? What is that? What is that? No. Ew.
Super easy, super simple, so yummy.
So we have a corn casserole that is full of fat. If you're just eating the corn, that's a vegetable. Usually I try to make it green, but still a vegetable regardless. In a casserole and or potatoes. And then you have another starch, which is your rice, with a slop ton of cheese. The only, in my opinion, my professional opinion, the only good thing about this, take away the corn casserole, take away the 17 pounds of cheese, and maybe have a side of corn, just the corn, the chicken, and a little bit of rice. Great.
And the chicken on top of your rice, and I guarantee you it will be a meal that everyone will enjoy.
And then also everyone gains 17 pounds.
We never have any leftovers in this house. Like I said, they beg for this meal every single week.
It is so interesting to me because every meal that she makes, she says, oh, it's a family favorite. Oh, my kids always ask me for this.
Get cooking and rice.
Here we go. I don't care if y'all make fun of my cooking. I've never claimed to be a chef, but my family loves my food. I'm sure the meals taste a little bit good because you're adding on cheese upon cheese and starch upon starch, but it's not making you feel good. All right, let's watch the lasagna.
Get cooking with me. It's messy pressure cooker lasagna. So I have about 3 pounds of beef, mozzarella cheese, a package of lasagna, pasta sauce, and ricotta cheese. You want to slice up an onion and then add it to your beef, and then brown your beef with the onion. Then throw it in the pressure cooker. Then you're going to put,
in my opinion, that looks well overdone,
a layer of pasta sauce on top of the beef, and then mix it together. Then you're going to take your lasagna noodles and you're going to break them into little pieces until you have it covering the top, and then add enough water to just barely cover the noodles. I think I might have added too much water, so be careful how much you add. Then set it on the rice cooker setting. Once it's done, you're going to take the ricotta cheese and mix it all together. Cover it with...
You know what I'm saying? Cheese upon cheese upon cheese. No wonder why your kids are eating it. I bet they're super constipated too.
Mozzarella cheese. Put the lid back on for it to melt. And you're all done. Super easy, super fast. One of our favorite meals. I added asparagus. It's one of our favorite sides to it. And it's a family favorite.
Along with every other thing that I make is a family favorite. I don't think that's a family favorite. I'm glad they have the asparagus. However, I would imagine that she's cooking that asparagus with every sort of fat source. So, what I'd do different in this scenario, yeah, she has beef, which would be a protein source. But if you are making a lasagna or making anything noodle based, up the meat, up the protein, because those noodles, the carb source is going to be so much higher in carbohydrates, which turn into sugar, than the protein. So up that protein as much as you can, pile the protein on, and I would go with a leaner protein, and I'm just going to bet that this meat is not lean, like a 96.4. That's super lean. That's the meat that I get, and you don't usually have to drain it. However, there's still fat in it. So maybe do a chicken instead and just bump up the meat, bump up the protein source, and have just a few noodles. But also add one source of cheese, not two. That's crazy.
It's a hit, and there wasn't one leftover. Get cooking with me. Get cooking with me. It's chicken spaghetti. So you need cheese, mozzarella cheese, 2 packages of spaghetti,
mozzarella, the other cheese, it looked like cheddar cheese, and cream cheese. Come on, dude.
Of cream cheese, 4 cans of cream of celery, and rotel. I bought
4 fat sources, 4 things high in fat. And this rotisserie chicken, the rotisserie chicken is fine. However, the skin is where you'll find all of the fat. Well, not all, most of the fat. If you take the skin off, there's not a lot of fat in the meat. However, if you are also eating the skin, that's a lot of added fat. If she's using the skin, that means there's a lot of fat sources here. 5 fat sources. Mozzarella cheese, cheddar cheese, the cream of celery has a lot of fat in it. And because it's cream, if it was just celery or whatever, that'd be different. But cream of anything has added fat. and the cream cheese, and now the skin off of the rotisserie chicken.
Rotisserie chicken, and we shredded it. You want to put all of your ingredients in a pan to make the sauce. So 2 cream cheese, 4 cans of cream of chicken, rotel, the 2 different types of cheese, and then you're going to add your spices. So salt, pepper, and garlic powder. Stir it together. So you're making your sauce here. Cook your noodles in a separate
Dude, their poor bellies.
pan and then drain them. Then all you're going to do is add your chicken on top of the noodles and then add the sauce.
In her ads or her reels or whatever, when she's talking about plexus, she speaks about gut health, okay? You're probably having gut health issues because you're eating a lot of fucking cheese. A lot of fucking dairy. That is a lot of dairy, dude. That's crazy. I'm not saying that eating this once in a while is a bad thing, or going out to eat and having pasta with the different cheese. I'm not saying that is bad, inherently bad.
On top of that.
But this is just one meal that these kids are eating, and these are just normal dinners, like an everyday dinner. So if you're feeding your family this every single night, like, dude, come on. I know that they're super active, but if you are eating this much dairy and this much just cheese in general, no wonder why you're having gut issues. I'm sure you're, oh no. And in one of them, she said that oh my God, she's telling on herself. She literally said, before I started these detox or whatever, like regularity cleansing pills, I wasn't very regular, but now I am regular. Karissa, look what you're adding into your food. You cannot take a little pill in an MLM or not in an MLM. If you are trying to cleanse your gut or you're trying to do that, start with the food that you are eating versus just taking supplements. That is so ignorant. It is so silly. If you want to lose weight, heal your gut, just feel better, start with your food first and not a supplement. I would bet my freaking life that if you change the food that you are eating, you would not need the supplements that you're taking.
Stir them all together. So it's super simple. It's 3 steps. Make your pasta.
Again, noodle based. Add the chicken, add the protein source, pile that on, and be very, very careful with the sauce, because like you saw, there was a lot of fat sources in this sauce. So it may be just a little cup of the sauce or half a cup of sauce, but it is packed full of fat. So this meal is high in carbohydrates and high in fat, lower in protein. Switch all that up, add that protein up, and lower the fat content and lower the carbohydrates. I'm not saying you can't have any of them, just add the protein, because I would imagine, by my professional opinion again, that a plate of this and or a bowl of this would be more calories that you would need during a day, and or already like half of your calories, simply because of the carbohydrates and the fat.
Your chicken, make your sauce, put it all together, stick it in 2 different pans. I make 2 big pans, and we usually have leftovers for the next meal. And then you're going to stick it in the oven at 375 for 25 minutes. I put some cheese on top also. And then you're all done. Super easy. We added a side of asparagus because that's our favorite. And of course, everybody loves chicken spaghetti. It's such a great meal, and it's a super...
So now there's, oh Jesus. So now there's cheddar cheese, mozzarella cheese, and cream cheese inside of it. But now we're going to add more cheese onto... These poor bellies.
And he's our number 1 fan. Oh, and my husband likes my food too, I promise. Get cooking with me. It's time.
Everything that I've seen is carb based. Very, very, very carb heavy. Very, very, very fat heavy. Very, very low protein, which that should be completely opposite.
Time to get cooking with me again. I'm doing fettuccine Alfredo, Olive Garden style.
Okay, we have 2% milk, heavy whipping cream. Heavy whipping cream, gross.
You'll need milk, whipping cream, flour, fettuccine noodles, Parmesan cheese, Romano cheese, butter, garlic, chicken. I like to take a rotisserie and shred it instead of cooking the chicken, but you can totally cook the chicken. You want to cook your noodles and then melt butter and garlic in the pan. Then you're going to add 4 tablespoons of flour. Now,
this woman is telling us what we should and should not eat out of health.
This is for a family of 12, so I am doubling the recipe. Then you're going to add 3 cups of whipping cream and 3 cups of milk. Make sure you're continuously stirring it together. You're going to salt and pepper it, and then once it starts boiling, you're going to add the cheese. So I use a whole package of Parmesan and then half a jar of the Romano. Add the chicken.
That's cheese too? That's cheese too?
To the noodles once the noodles are done, and then you're going to add the sauce on top of that and then stir them together. It's actually quite simple, and it tastes way better than Olive Garden. We also added some Caesar salad. There you have it. It's one of my kids' favorites. And of course, no leftovers. Get cooked.
This is actually worse than I thought it was going to be. This is so much worse than I thought it was going to be. Oh my God.
Get cooking with me and my little helper. We're making meatballs and rice. This was my favorite growing up, and now my kids love it. So what you need is rice, onion, big hands of tomato soup, ketchup, barbecue sauce, bread, 2 eggs, and milk. And then I have about 3 pounds of ground beef. Put the ground beef and then the bread soaked in milk, add the eggs, and then add the ketchup and barbecue sauce. Then slice up the entire onion and stick it in there. And then here's the fun part. Take your rings off and mush it up with your hands. Turn it into meatballs and put them in an extra large pan. Take the 2 cans of tomato sauce and dump them in a bowl. And then fill each can up with water and then stir it all together. And then dump the tomato soup mixture into the meatballs. Then you're going to boil it on high. Once it starts boiling, you will cook it on medium for 30 minutes. Then you're going to I do 6 cups of rice for my family of 12 in your pressure cooker while the meatballs and rice are cooking. Once it's cooked for 30 minutes, it's all done.
Was that a butter stick? Is that a stick of butter in the freaking rice?
Put the rice on a plate and cover it with a meat.
Again, though corn is technically a vegetable, it is very starchy. You should choose between either the rice and the corn, not 2 starches. So it should be, in my opinion, the meatball shit, which you can tell that there's not a lot of protein that she has on her plate. There should be more of the meatballs. And I wouldn't necessarily I would use very, very lean ground beef when it came to the meatballs, because you're probably going to eat more than one, duh. So a cup and or half a cup of the rice, that is a lot more than a cup, to be quite honest. So it should be either the rice or the corn. So the corn, a good substitute would have been the asparagus, not cooked in olive oil or a shit ton of butter, because you have to remember that if my eyes were correct, there was a stick of butter inside of the rice. That's crazy. So that no longer means that the rice is just a carb source. It is now a carb and a fat source. Add more protein.
And the sauce. And then we had corn as our side tonight. And then enjoy. It's one of my family. Get cooking with.
Okay, this is going to be the last one. This is her goulash. This looks so freaking disgusting. But I think we have learned together that Karissa Collins should not be talking to anybody about what is healthy and unhealthy of food, right?
Cooking with me and baby Armor. Tonight it is goulash. So the ingredients you need would...
I bet it was one of her childhood favorites and a family favorite. That's a shit ton of cheese.
Noodles, cheese, green beans, I like French style, onion.
It is just so hysterical to me that in her MLM reels or whatever, she's like, I've always had gut health and I haven't been regular until I started using these cleanse pills. Like, ma'am, look at the food that you're eating. I cannot stress enough that if you want to feel better, it starts with the food.
And tomato soup, and then beef. So you're going to take your onion and your beef and you're going to brown it while you're cooking your noodles. Look at my good little helper. Then you're going to put the beef into the noodles, add the green beans, add the tomato
I hate that she added the green bean juice.
Soup, stir it all together, add cheese on top, and then...
You quite literally can't even see the noodles or the meat. You can't see anything. Again, I'll stress, up the protein, lower the noodles.
You're all done. It is that simple. This is my son making garlic bread, just bread, butter, and garlic powder.
Come on. Does that look good? Look at it. Visualize it. Stare at it. Does that look good? Does this look like a meal that should be coming from a woman saying, you should eat this, you shouldn't eat this out of health? Fuck no.
Salt, actually. And there you have it. A super simple, easy, and delicious meal. And it reminds me of childhood. It was one of my faves.
Did I not say that she was going to say fave? This is so gross. Okay, I think I proved it that this is disgusting. And all of her meals are based around cheese. It's not based around a protein source. It's not based around a healthy carbohydrate. There's zero structure. There's zero health structure. And it's absolutely disgusting. Again, I want to stress that I wasn't going to say anything about this because I didn't want to shame a mom for feeding her 1,700 children. However, once you put on the internet, which somebody in the comments was like, no, talk about it, shame her. She's the one who put it on the internet and clearly it's not healthy. You're absolutely correct. And again, I wasn't going to say anything. However, once she is trying to teach people what to eat and what not to eat out of health for your body, oh girl, I am there. It's absolutely disgusting. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comments down below. And I appreciate you so much. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye.